entrepreneurs, to another class or e-learning class, starting a business e-learning video class. My name is Tony Brancatella, and this will be number 2 in a session in a string of classes that you will do online. And this one is a little bit different than the first. It's what's your learning style? Do you know your learning style? Would it be visual? Would it be auditory? Or would it be kinesthetic? That's a hard word to pronounce. Kinesthetic. So learning styles really are influenced by our own perceptions, how we see things, how we do things, how we react to things, how we feel more comfortable in doing certain things. So we all address life and reality and what we see, all our experiences differently, and how we react to these. We don't always retain what we see and what we hear. Sometimes we retain more of what we touch, or a combination of two or even of the three. So we really tend to classify, or select I should say, and eliminate info based on that. So we select what information we like the most. If it's visual, we select to watch more or retain more what we see than what we hear or what we touch. In general, numbers read out this way. Visually is 65%, auditory is 30%, and kinesthetic is 5%. So let's look at them. Visual learning style uses visual objects such as graphs, charts, pictures, and seeing information. I think you would have a pretty good understanding of if you have this style. If you are a graphic artist, you would have a visual learning style. Visual learning style has a very high perception level when it comes to nonverbal communication. So they could read body language very well and have a good understanding of the aesthetics of what surrounds them. They're able to memorize and recall various information, overall what they see. They tend to remember things that are written down. They don't actually remember the words. They actually remember the picture. They picture what they see, even if it is words, and they tend to remember it that way. And they're also very sensitive to facial expressions. Like I mentioned earlier, they have tendency to look at nonverbals and read your body language very well. So, is your learning style visual? Do you turn notes into pictures? Do you draw charts or need maps all the time to look at where you're going? Do you learn a big picture first and focus on the details? And if you look at the big picture first, focus on the details, your style would be visual. Do you make mind and concept maps instead of outlines? This would be a little bit more about more details than on that. That the concept maps are really just not look at the outlines of certain things, but really the concept of what is going on. Do you color code parts of your new concepts in your notes? Concepts could be ideas. So you color code them when you take notes, and just to identify them clearly. So a lot of people use the little stick-ons where they need to focus on the colors, and each color for them represents something. Or would you have an auditory learning style? Now, auditory learning style retains information through hearing and speaking. They notice different aspects of speaking and tones. Especially on the phone, they will pick up the tones, and they will pick up the nonverbals on the phone too. So silence for them plays a very big part when it comes to learning style. They often has talents in music, may concentrate better with music playing in the background, always have an understanding of what that is, or they will love to listen to audiobooks in this case also. They really like to listen to audiobooks and instead of actually reading them. So, is your learning style auditory? Do you record lectures and then listen to them later? A lot of people do this. They feel a lot more comfortable recording lectures and listening to them later. Do you repeat words to yourself that you need to express or material out loud? Or do you paraphrase certain things you hear into your own words and make it more comfortable? Do you discuss materials in your study groups? Do you have a voice? Do you like to express your opinions and to be heard? And auditories love to be heard. They love their own voice. That is true. And of course, like I said earlier, textbooks read out loud or listen to audiobooks are very important for auditory learning style. The last learning style is kinesthetic. Now, kinesthetic is a tough word to write, tough word to say, and really simply though, it means learning takes place by carrying out physical activities rather than listening to a lecture or watching demonstrations. So they really have to touch things to actually learn how they are. Hands-on approach to new materials, like to use their hands and touch and feel something instead of actually just looking at it or in many cases listening to it. Very good in science, very good in math, and would also rather demonstrate how to do something rather than verbally explain it. So if you know someone that always shows you how to do things, are very good in mechanics, they'll fix your car, or very good in the garden. These are very kinesthetic learning style people. Usually prefers groups more than others. They love to get their hands dirty, but love to work with people and love to shake hands. Kinesthetics really do not look for the nonverbals. They really look to touch and come close to you. So is your learning style kinesthetic? Learn new material while doing something active? Do you multitask? You read a book while you're on a treadmill, let's say? Or would you read the manuals? Would you actually read manuals? Would you be one of those persons that picks up the manual and really wants to know how things work? And would you always be very active? Would you work while you're standing? It would be very close to what learning style kinesthetics would do. And they like to do that, work while they're standing. And they love to demonstrate how things work and always be out in the field. They are not the ones that would be in the office running PowerPoint presentations. They're the ones that will be out in the field and showing you how things work. So, a little exercise, learning style self-assessment questionnaire. Well, you'll see a whole bunch of questions, and you'll have to pick, choose the answer that most represents how you generally conduct yourself. As we did in the first exercise, please write Module 1, 946452. Exercise YT2. What is your learning style? So 30 questions in all. Since this is on tape, on video, of course, you can go back and forth and stop and answer them as you go along. Let's just read the first two together. So number one, when I operate new equipment, I generally A, read the instructions first, B, listen to an explanation from someone who has used it before, or C, go ahead and have a go. I can figure out as I use it. Question two would be, when I need directions for traveling, I usually look at a map, B, ask for spoken directions, or C, I follow my nose, excuse me, and maybe use a compass. So I will show you 30 questions after this, actually 28 questions after this, so you can pause the video as you go along and choose the answer that you generally will find a way to conduct yourself, and in such cases as these two first questions. So here we go. Okay, great. So now, add up how many A's and B's and C's you have selected. Write that down on the same piece of paper with all your answers. I forgot to mention, you can write the answer itself. I'll go back one step. If you would choose number 27, I meet an old friend. If your answer is A, you can just write 27 and write the A answer. I say it's great to see you. So that would be preferable in this case. You can write I meet an old friend. A, I say it's great to see you. Since you do have some time to do that, you can write that. That would be appreciated. So now add up the A's, the B's, and the C's you have selected. So of course, if you choose mostly A's, you have a visual learning style. If you choose mostly B's, you have an auditory learning style. And C, if you chose C's, well, you have more a kinesthetic learning style. So learning styles, really, people commonly have a main preference, but this is also a blend of the other two. So if you have a learning style of A, of course, you will have certain aspects that you would use the other two different learning styles. But your strong preference really is, if it is auditory, it really is auditory, which will stand out more than the other two. So a lot of people often may have or may even mix one or two of the learning styles and have a good interpretation of let's say, visual and auditory. So when you know your preferred learning style, you understand the type of learning that really suits you the best, and you really adapt to that. If you really love music and you really close your eyes when you listen to music, of course, you would be an auditory learning style. It enables you to choose the types of learning that works best for you. And there is really no right or no wrong learning styles. It is really all three are very good. If you use a combination of all three, certainly that would be even better. We all do at a certain level use the combination of the three learning styles. So that's it. And learning style is really an important aspect of becoming an entrepreneur. It only helps you a little bit better. You can see it also in your products, and you chose what you have chosen to do in your business, and it shows that you would lean towards a learning style for you that is more complementary. So great. Thank you very much for watching, and like I usually say, bring your sheet to class with all your answers. And well, we'll see you next time. Thank you.